Yeah.
I love you.
All right. Hey, will you get Miss Kat's chair?
This one? A boss chair?
Yeah, the bar stool right over there. Am I on public?
Yes.
Why?
Because I'm on your show.
Hi.
Hey, sis. How are you?
I'm gonna fist bump you.
Hey, look. Have you ever had this Kringle thing from Trader Joe's, the Danish Kringle? Okay. It's,
Hey, Beth.
Kids are gonna love it.
Cute.
Look, so you can freeze it. Like I had it frozen. I just bought it.
Hey, we got a new option here. You can bring people on the camera.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
Have you seen that?
Like on Instagram?
No. Hey, guys. Got a couple minutes and we're going to get going.
Refrigerator if you want to make it for tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's so yummy.
Grab that,
Thank you.
What, baby?
either one of the chairs. Either chair, that margarita chair is a little bit bigger.
Oh, what you trying to say?
Nothing. That's all right. Kat had a,
Did
she
you
had
hear
her,
what he just said to me?
I did.
That other one's a little
that's all
bit
right. She got night last night. She had her night clothes on. So it looked like Jolly Green Giant. It was a green top. And
Larkin, no, you should know better.
I didn't mean it that way. I just,
Which one's bigger?
It was
Let me
a
make
That
sure I see
margarita
the
one.
big one. This one?
yeah.
Now, how would I know if that's margarita? It's blue.
It says Margaritaville. No, the turquoise one that's laying down.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Hey, no, it has not started. We got about 1 minute and we're going to get going. You haven't missed anything.
Hug you.
I'm not here. Just give me a hug. I haven't been around anybody.
Look, I have been around people at work, but
Oh.
I wear masks and all that. But I haven't today. I was off. I was supposed to get
Hey,
my hair
son,
done.
all right, let me
It was
get
like
going. Y'all go
Halloween.
ride.
I was going to go to her house. She calls me this morning. I'm not feeling too good. I'm like, damn, I took a day off.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. Give me like 30 more seconds and then we'll get going.
Okay, where did I sit?
The producer hadn't even gotten in her chair yet.
I'm coming.
Oh, that's where she sits.
That's where she sits. See, look how it says that now. Look, bring them on camera.
Well, we don't know how to do
We don't know. We're not going to do that.
Hey,
but,
friends.
Oh,
All right,
look.
let's get
pretty.
started.
I forget what we're making tonight.
Shrimp and grits.
Shrimp and grits.
Where's your artwork?
Well, I had the tent covering it
Oh,
because
okay.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And then we're good. So, all right, we're gonna get rolling here. People can join or not. You know, Friday's kind of a weird day. I know people are probably out taking walks or doing things, celebrating some family time. So, but we're gonna get started. So, I've had a lot of requests for shrimp and grits. So, shrimp and grits it is tonight. And I've had some people ask me, and it's going to be interesting because I'm trying to make sure we can boil this stock to be able to do these grits. So it's going to be really interesting. I got my camp stove, but there's no telling if I have to, you know, on the fly run inside and throw this on the big burner to get it going. So
He didn't cook this very often.
I don't cook it very often. But here's my point. People have asked me, like, I'm excited to see shrimp and grits. I want to see your version or your take on it. And here's the thing. Shrimp and grits to me is a classic dish. There's not much I'm going to do here that's going to be strays away from the true tradition of the dish. I'm not going to try to do anything funky or put a chef spin on it. There's maybe a little item or two that we'll do. But other than that, we're going to try to keep it to the classic. So here's what we've got. You can see we've got our wonderful shrimp, probably a little over a pound here. Just some jumbo shrimp, tail removed, peeled and deveined. All right. I have a little combination of bacon and put the dog in, Julia. And pancetta. I'm only doing pancetta because we had it left in the fridge. And I want to use it out. All right.
Why do you not normally put bacon in this?
All right. There you go, Julia. No, you do. You put bacon, but I had some pancetta too, so I'm going to do both
okay.
of them. You know, and get them going. So we've got our stone ground yellow grits over here. All right, we got a little bit of cheese, but to me, the cheese is a small thing. I don't want super cheesy grits.
No, because you don't want them greasy.
Well, not only greasy, but I don't want to take away from the flavor of the grits, but being all cheese flavored, you know?
Right.
So let's get started here. we got to render out some fat here to get this thing going. So we're going to add in our bacon and that little bit of pancetta. And we're going to get this going. We want it to render out. I got a pretty good amount in there.
Ellie, I thought you were coming out.
No, they're coming out tomorrow.
Okay.
Wait, you know this is behind.
Yeah, it always is.
Okay, because I was like, hold on a second.
Yeah, no, it always is.
Okay, cool.
You're on delay. All right, so what we want to do is we want to start to render some of this fat here off of this bacon. Let this bacon cook, get crispy, all right? And at the same time, I've got a little bit, I have 4 cups of stock here. I'm using chicken stock to cook the grits. So here's one little trick I'll do, is that I'm going to add just a little bit of cream into my stock. So it's not just water. We've got chicken stock and a little bit of cream. I think it adds some flavor to it, makes it a little silky. So we're going to get that going on the camp stove. All right? We've got our bacon going.
Ready for the show. Clark or Kesey. I'm
Clark.
trying something fancy right now, Clark.
Who said that?
He said
Oh,
he's
you said
ready.
that.
I am.
All right. So we've got our bacon going. We're rendering that out. All right. And now what we need to do is we need to season our shrimp. So like I said, we've got these jumbo shrimp. I've got a little bit of my favorite Paul Prudhomme seasoning there. I'm going to add that Paul Prudhomme's onto these shrimp. All right. We're going to toss them around just a little bit. Get them nice and coated. And then what I want to do is I want to add just a little touch of flour. And the reason I'm going to add some flour in there is that adding the flour, it'll get a little crispy, the shrimp will, so it'll add a different flavor to it. But also, it'll help when we go to make our sauce for the shrimp and grits at the end. It's kind of like a roux.
All right, I have 2 questions.
Shoot.
What kind of cream did you mention?
Little heavy cream.
Heavy cream, Sally. And then, Melinda, I ordered the grits. You want the stone ground.
We did stone ground yellow. All right, and
So it's whatever your preference is.
yeah,
But
you
we
can
did
go yellow, you can go white, whatever you want to do. I like the yellow. I think it presents better. And I like stone ground because I actually use a stone to grind it. It's nothing against the people at Quaker Oats, but it's not some powder fine thing. Your bits are going to be a little bit different in size. And I like a little bit more of the coarse that the stone ground brings.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've got our shrimp. We've got them seasoned. We got a little bit of flour on them. All right, that's going to help when we put our butter in and our little bit of stock to make our roux there. Our bacon's going. All right, you can see here. I guess you can't. I pulled the camp stove out. That camp stove's really helping. It's boiling over here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add in the grits. All right. Now I had 4 cups of stock, and I'm going to add in 1 cup of grits.
So 4 cups of stock to 1 cup of grits.
Yeah, and probably 1/3 of a cup or 1/4 of a cup of cream.
Okay.
All right, we're going to mix this up really good. We're using the old Chester copper pot. All right, and we're going to let those slowly start cooking. All right. Let's check. We want our bacon. Look, I think we've talked about this before. We're going to render the fat of this bacon in pancetta because that fat is flavor. That's going to, really season our dish, season our shrimp, and help us in that whole process. But I don't want this to get super crispy right now. I'm not trying to get bacon crispy bits out of it. I like a little bit of bite, a little bit of chew in the bacon. So we're not going to let that cook the whole time and get super tough. All right? I'm going to let that go. I'm going to grab one thing inside.
Okay.
So, y'all chat for a second.
Hey, Kat. Hi, Tish. We have one of our biggest fans here with us tonight.
Yes.
She's just like me. She refuses to get on the camera. However, we have been wanting Tish to come out and sit in the driveway with us because we hadn't seen her in so long. So we got lucky and
And
have
I'm
a
loving it.
social distancing visitor. Can everybody, are y'all so excited it's Friday? I am. Oh, my Lord.
All right,
It's been a week.
what I grabbed was, I just went inside. I'm going to remove, once it gets to a certain point, I'm going to remove some of this bacon. I'm going to give it about 30 seconds. Let it keep cooking. Then I'm going to remove it because we'll add it back in here at the end and let it finish cooking with the shrimp. So our grits are going strong here on the camp stove. All right. And if you need to, don't be afraid. You can always add. I had this on the stove. We're going to add just a little bit more stock to it. It'll cook down a little bit.
Did you say how high you were cooking the grits over there, buddy?
Like a medium high.
Okay. I just know every time I put cream in anything, if I have it too hot, it does what is it called?
Scald.
Curdle?
Or scorch.
Curdle? Curdle? Curdle?
So make sure you're scraping your sides. All right, grits are looking good. And these grits, those aren't our kids. We're going to remove this bacon now. I got a slotted spoon, so we keep that kind of bacon fat in there. Can't get all of it out. But we'll get a bunch of it. But we're going to add this back in here in just a minute. So you can see we're going to have a little bit of chew on there. It's cooked, but we'll be good to go. So we're just going to set this back there. Check our grits. So these grits will take, about 15 minutes. We've probably been 5 minutes in, and I'll check them. And what I want to do is we put the chicken stock in there. We put a little bit of cream. I'm going to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper.
Kim, they're not our children.
Those weren't.
Those weren't. They're the bicycle gang's on the other side of the neighborhood.
Yeah. And we're going to take this down to about a low. We just want it to barely be kind of bubbling and boiling. We don't want it like lava going crazy. All right? So what I want to do is now let's do some of our beer and wine.
Okay.
Because these shrimp will not take long, and we don't have a lot of process left. So let's go. First thing we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about our beer. We're outside grilling. We're having shrimp and grits. What could be better than a good cold beer? And that's what we're going to talk about. So our friends, our buddies are Crosstown Brewery, Crosstown Brewing Company. All right, get down there. They're doing curbside, pick up some stuff. So we have got Clark and Will and Steven down there, good Christian Brothers guys. They have just finished this beer. It's called Here Comes the Fuzz. We have been talking about this for a couple of weeks now, and it is available right now on their website.
Oh.
You can pre-order it. You can't pick it up till next week, but you can pre-order it. All right, so Here Comes the Fuzz is a kettle sour, and it's a beer that's been brewed with peaches and a little bit of basil.
Oh,
And
I can taste the basil.
Yeah, and
That's
actually,
what it is.
when I was
love
down there
that
today,
flavor.
Clark told me that sometimes you can see
Let me
little
smell it.
bits of the basil in there. All right, so I'm going to pour myself doing
Isn't
my
that
glass.
interesting? It
there.
is one of the most interesting tasting but delicious beers I've ever had.
I love the color on it. It smells phenomenal. All right. So, Crosstown, Here Comes the Fuzz. I'm really excited because we're like the first people in town to get this. I don't think no other restaurant. So, our cooking show, once again, we're doing interesting things. We've got the Here Comes the Fuzz, little peach, basil, kettle sour. It's going to go amazing with this shrimp and grits.
The basil is delicious, and it is
It's
in
wonderful.
Here,
the proper
kissing
glass.
cousins here.
There you go. All right, so our grits are going good. We've got them on low.
We got Jennifer French is going to be picking up some
Oh,
Elfo
my.
on Monday.
I love it.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
So good.
And even better with some ice cubes in it.
I love
You
it.
could throw a couple. Yeah, I've had that one sitting out for just a little bit. That's my bad, but I love it.
I got a cold one.
All right, so
That is
there's the
really
cold
good.
one in the thing. So hey, thanks to the guys, Crosstown. They've been big supporters of ours. We support them. That's how the Brother Network works.
You're
So-
doing it right, Clark and
Yeah.
Katie. I mean, I
Yeah.
love your stuff.
And
the
Will
cans
and
are
Steven.
beautiful. Oh, and Will and Steven.
Yeah, don't forget everybody. So,
I know, but I know
get
them.
online right now. Go to Crosstown website. You can purchase it, pre-purchase it. You'll be able to pick it up next week, curbside. Give those guys a shout out. Go pick it up. It's wonderful. All right?
It
All
is. I can attest to that.
Next, if you're not into beer,
Mm-hmm.
we always got to have a wine. So tonight we have Ken Wright Cellars. Ken Wright, for any big Pinot drinkers, you should know Ken Wright. They make some amazing wines. We have a Willamette Valley 2017 vintage Pinot Noir. This came from our great friends at Cheers. It is an absolutely fantastic wine. I love Pinots. I'm a big fan. I was going to possibly do something last night. Well, truth be told, they gave us a bottle. And then one night we had a little fun and we accidentally drank it. We drank it.
Wow.
So then we didn't use it on the show. And I was like, we've got to go buy another bottle because we've got to have this bottle on the show. And so, because it was fantastic. So we did it. So tonight is going to be wonderful with the shrimp and grits. I mean, you got to just be honest with your people.
Well, why don't you can't keep a full bottle of that kind of Pinot Noir in our
Not
house
in our house.
with more than a couple days without anybody
Correct.
drinking it.
Correct.
Sorry.
So, absolutely. Ooh, that
I'll
smells
taste
wonderful.
test that for you if you want me
Beautiful glass of Pinot Noir.
Ooh,
Thanks,
it's yummy.
thanks to our buddies at Cheers for hooking us up. They always do a
to.
great job.
Ken Wright Pinot. Melinda, you can get it at Cheers.
Yep. All right, so
Hey,
let's get on our shrimp. All right. So we've got our shrimp here. We put a little bit of my favorite, the Paul Prud'homme's seasoning on there. We put a little bit of flour. All right. We've got our bacon fat in here that we've saved. And what we want to do is we want to lay our shrimp in. Now, don't just dump the shrimp in one big pile.
You had all these before
We
we
want
got
to
here.
try to lay them out. All right, keep them a little separate so they cook evenly. You know, we're on the slant here on this driveway, so we kind of got to play around. I think the key to shrimp and grits is to not have overcooked shrimp. So if you had to ask me what's the key, that's the key. And that's what we're going to try to do here. All right, I'm going to turn this.
What's the key to not having overcooked shrimp, Larkin? Not
don't
overcooking them?
overcook it. I mean,
But I
that's-
mean,
Kind of question is that?
you know what I mean.
Right, yeah.
Not everybody knows how to cook shrimp like you do.
Well, just cook it. For anybody that has overcooked shrimp, always cook it about 2 minutes less than you think so. When you start to see that color, that good pink color, flip it over. When they start to see that, but if it's gone bright orange or things like that, you cooked it too much. You want a tender shrimp, not a chewy shrimp. So we're going to put these in there. This is looking wonderful.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
After you cook your shrimp, do you have to let it rest too? Is it
No,
still cooking?
Not like steak. No.
Okay.
Now it will continue. I'm sorry. It will continue to cook up just a little bit. Okay. And but it's not like steak where it's going to go up, a bunch.
And make it overdone.
Correct.
So, okay.
So I'm going to get a. Those grits are doing good. I'm about to move them over off of. So I'd say I ended up adding probably another cup of liquid in here, and the reason being is I had this on my egg getting hot before the show started, so we probably evaporated just a little bit of that chicken stock. But I'm going to show you now. This is where we are. These grits are creamy, looking beautiful. The flavor of the chicken stock, that little bit of cream. So I'm going to go ahead and move these now back onto the egg, turn our camp stove off. And we're going to come in now. We're going to add, I shredded this cheese. I like that Cracker Barrel block. Instead of buying that little thing from Kroger that unzip the bag, I think that can be a little oily. So we're just going to add probably a half a cup, all right, of that cheese in there. That's what I kind of measured out. Because once again, I don't want it super, super cheesy. I want the flavor of the shrimp to come through. I don't just want it to be cheddar cheese grits. All right? So, let's get our shrimp. You can see right here, we have got gorgeous color on these shrimp. That's exactly what we wanted. All right? So I'm going to pull these now. Now this side is still a little raw, but we're going to flip all these shrimp. All right, and once we get them flipped, hope y'all can see that well. My executive producer had to, I guess, go meet the pizza delivery man for our children. All right, we got them nice and flipped. All right, they'll continue to cook up. That cast iron is hot. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do now. All right, we've got our gorgeous shrimp. I'm going to throw in these knobs of butter here. Move those around. Okay, put it back on there. And now, what I like to do is, I've got some beautiful green onions here. I'm going to chop these green onions.
Brother David.
Hey, Brother David. We're going to sprinkle these green onions on there.
Melinda loves using the white cheddar. Do you make shrimp and grits a lot, Melinda?
Yeah, she's really, Melinda was
Well,
really
this was
pumped
her
about
big
shrimp and
request. I think this
Yeah.
was one of hers. Oh, look how pretty the green onions look in there.
So you got the green onions. Now I'm going to go back in with that bacon that we've cooked, not too crispy. Okay?
Huh? I know, I put it inside.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a touch of that stock in there. You all right, honey? All right, so
You all right, baby?
let me get cleaned up.
I know, honey. It's going to be okay.
Okay, I'm going to get my presentation plate. Now, this is why we really went in with that flour. You can see that flour is going to thicken this sauce up.
Is it
All right, let me show y'all
Is it showing off?
how gorgeous that looks. Got the beautiful bacon, green onions,
Yum.
a little bit of stock, okay? A little blackened shrimp, you know, with that little Paul Prud'homme's. We're going to let that continue to thicken. It's going to thicken over the next minute or so.
Those aren't the shrimp, the size of the shrimp you usually use, are they?
No, they're close. These are probably 20, what you call 26-30 count, so 26 to 30 to a pound. All right, so it's time to plate it up. We've got our beautiful grits here, nice and creamy. I'm going to show you what we're going to do.
Yummy.
That's
No.
beautiful.
I don't want to waste anything. All right, grits are looking wonderful. Now we can kind of do is on this platter, give it a little bit of a shake. Make sure they're spread all the way around. Now we're going to come back in and start just laying these gorgeous shrimp over the top. Our sauce is still cooking, it's thickening up.
Oh yes, she also so Melinda does one that also has sautéed mushrooms in there.
Okay, so that's a big thing too.
The City Grocery does that
Yeah,
down in
mushrooms, I'd say that. There's a kind of a people out there, some like mushrooms in there, some don't like mushrooms. You know, they use the white button mushrooms, which is absolutely fine. I like mushrooms. I kind of prefer to do it without, but there's certainly nothing wrong with that. That's probably the biggest difference in people's shrimp and grits. Mushrooms or no mushrooms.
Looks really pretty, bud.
So the reason I like serving it this way, because that way everybody can kind of just walk up, instead of trying to make individual bowls for everybody. Let everybody walk up. We've got the grits spread out. They can come up with a spoon. They can get what they want. All right, I'm going to allow that sauce to kind of thicken for about 30 more seconds. And we're going to be ready to serve.
We need to make like an Italian version of that you can have on your menu. Or like, you know what?
What?
Lunch, that would be a good lunch special.
It would be good. It would be excellent, actually. All right, let me get my spoon.
What's everybody think? I'm thinking lunch special.
Yep. But then I don't think they'd want to go back to work.
Correct.
Well, I mean, you don't want to go back after the meatloaf either.
Yeah.
I've made that mistake before.
All right, so we're going to drizzle this sauce.
We are making shrimp and grits.
Who is that?
Aunt Carolyn.
All right, we've got this gorgeous sauce here. God, it looks wonderful.
Tracy, we're having a Ken Wright Pinot Noir.
Willamette Valley. Ken Wright has a lot. This is the Willamette Valley.
Willamette.
We're going to get our professional OCD white. And then we're going to take a little bit of that Paul Prudhomme seasoning. And
Yeah.
we're going to sprinkle it right over the top of this. All right, and folks, we've got homemade.
Oh,
Shrimp
that's
and
beautiful.
grits.
Fabulous.
Can you bring it up just and then down?
It's hard to go down because
Yeah,
it's
I
I
know.
gonna
still
slide.
Okay,
feel-
perfect.
All
We don't
right,
want to mess
so
up your pretty plate.
Beautiful shrimp and grits. We've got a beautiful kettle sour. Here comes the fuzz. You hadn't seen it yet, but you're seeing it here tonight. We were lucky enough to be handed this today to throw on this show and promote, and we're happy to. Go to Crosstown Brewing Company's website, pre-order it right now. You can pick it up next
Is that going to
week.
be a
Excellent.
seasonal option?
Yeah, they run a bunch of seasonal
Well,
stuff.
I mean, at
so
the
this
restaurant, I
is,
didn't know if it was going
yeah.
to be.
And then on top of it, if you're not into the beer, go get a glass of vino. Tonight we're having the Ken Wright Cellars Pinot Noir. Thanks to the fine folks at Cheers for hooking us up with this. And we're going to have a lovely night.
Don't forget about the exciting news.
Yeah, so
happening
once again,
Monday.
we released our menu today on the social stuff. And so we've got, we're doing a limited menu to start. We want to see what people are interested in. You don't want to bring in a ton of inventory and you're not selling it, but we've got a lot of our classic stuff. We're excited about it. Check the menu out for the restaurant on all the social pages. Starting Monday night, we look forward to seeing you. We'll be live Monday night from the restaurant, and so come join us. But one last thing I have to do. All right?
Oh, we're live Monday night? I thought we were live Tuesday night.
Monday night.
Oh, I better put that on my
So
schedule.
one last thing we have to do here,
going back
because
to work.
I'm a hot sauce fan, and this is why we talk about: do you like mushrooms or do you not like mushrooms? Mushrooms have an earthy flavor, okay? And you could add it to this. But what I'm going to do is, I'm about to hit a little bit of truff. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of truff. If you haven't, you might have seen it on Instagram. They do a bunch of Instagram stuff. This is from our fine folks at Dixie Pickers. This is white truffle infused hot sauce. It is absolutely phenomenal. All right? And it, sorry. Where y'all, I just got distracted.
I know,
was doing
sorry.
something.
We were trying to be slick.
You were trying to be slick.
Just wanted you to give a shout out because they're going to do a drive-by for Coach Nick's at 7:30 at Christian Brothers.
Okay, 7:30 tonight. There you go. Thank you. 7:30 tonight. They're doing a drive-by for Coach Tom Nix, a memorial. I guess pull into the parking
They'll
lot.
have the
go
field
by
lit
the
up.
yeah. They'll have everything up. So the field's going to be lit up. So if you're out and about, want to take a ride with the family, if you knew Coach Nix, get out there, drive by, pay your respects and do it. So back to the truff.
Sorry.
Yeah. This might be one of the finest products I've ever tasted. Like I said, great people over at Dixie Pickers hooked me up with this white truffle infused hot sauce. So you get that earthy flavor of the white truffle, which is kind of like a mushroom flavor, but you get it in a hot sauce. So what we're going to do is, and it's a strong one, but it imparts so much flavor. We're going to drip just a little bit of this white truff hot sauce
Yum.
over the top of this beautiful shrimp and grits. And folks, that takes it to another level. So when people ask, what did I do to make this my own? That's how I made it my own. I used a little white truffle infused hot sauce at the end to kick it up a notch, give it that earthy flavor, and there's your gorgeous shrimp and grits. So thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend. We're taking off tomorrow. Going to relax, but we'll be back for Sunday supper Sunday night. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.